Welcome to the Plowman Table podcast, where we talk about everything happiness, home life, and hospitality. I'm so happy you're here. There's a seat at the table waiting just for you.
I was quoting Father of the Bride.
What did you say?
When he's telling the dogs that are barking at him, he goes, "I'm leaving, and I'm relaxed, and I'm leaving." Okay, welcome back to the Plowman Table podcast.
It makes my head smaller. Adds 20 pounds for sure.
Should we
get a seat that's different?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Plowman Table. Today's episode 2.
Episode 2.
I have my amazing hubby with me because today is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Worked hard for that.
Today we're going to talk about Dad being the unsung hero of homemaking. Did you know you're a homemaker?
I did not, although I've been accused of that before. I don't think they meant it as a compliment.
He really should have an apron, y'all. No, I don't mean homemaking necessarily as like the laundry doing, although he is the laundry ninja in our house. That is true.
I will race any of you folding a basket of clothes.
He truly should have a medal with the laundry.
Olympic sport.
Okay, but I don't mean like laundry, house cleaning. Child rearing is also like a part of homemaking, but not even necessarily like their education. We homeschool. Like I'm not really talking about like that kind of homemaking. I'm just talking about the homemaking part where within the four walls of our home, that's where the love is. And so you are the unsung hero of that kind of homemaking. Okay. The chambers of our heart, that kind. So today I want to talk about how dads are a huge part of that and how moms really get to wear the crown in the homemaking department. But in my opinion, I am only a good homemaker because you are the other half. Like, that's really how I feel. No. But before we get started, I do want to take a minute to acknowledge those who might not feel the same sentiments about Father's Day, or it's just not as happy of a day for you. Maybe you didn't have an amazing dad in your life. Maybe you didn't know your dad, or possibly your dad's not here. And we just understand that this might not be the happiest of times for you, and we are praying with you. And our Heavenly Father has enough room in His arms for you.
It's true.
And He's the Father that's never going to let you down. And even if we don't quite always understand His ways or His plans, He is completely trustworthy, and He loves us more than we can imagine. So I do appreciate that you are with us today, and I do hope that you have someone in your life that can be a father figure. It doesn't have to be anyone biologically related to you at all.
That's also true.
I've got lots of people in my life that have been additional. They're extra father figures in my life. Okay, but today I do have to wish my dad, Tim, and my father-in-law, John, and my hubby, happy Father's Day. And I have many, my brother, and I have many brother-in-laws who are also dads. You guys are rock stars. So happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Okay, so today, some of the ways that you guys are the unsung hero of homemaking at our house is, number one, he laughed when I said this.
I did not make this up.
You're the nuts and bolts of the house. No pun intended, okay?
I think there was a pun there.
No, there wasn't, but it just made me laugh, so I kept it. This is a family quality podcast, so we got to move on. Okay, but what I mean by that is, like, when something's broken, dads are there to fix it. If it's a light bulb that needs changing, the toilet is clogged, anything that is taller than 5'2", That's how tall I am. Anything that needs tools, any spider that needs to be squished, unless you're my brother, he doesn't do the spiders. You call Dad. Like, you need Dad to fix it.
I feel like every house we've been in, there's a light bulb every week that goes out, and if I'm not there, it just stays out. Nobody else can reach them. So
it's true. I mean, I can reach it. I have to stand on a stool. We just need dads.
We don't let her stand on stools.
What he doesn't know can't hurt him. Anyway, you guys, like, you don't even just like fix the physical things, but I don't know. You're just supposed to know how. I can't really explain it. Like, there's been many times since we've been married. I was asking him today, do you remember what it was? But like when we first got married, something was broken
I don't remember what it was.
in our first home. And it wasn't like anything that you couldn't just quickly Google search and figure it out. But I was like, I'm going to call my dad. And you said, no, you're not calling your dad. I can handle it. I'm going to figure it out.
Figure this out. No offense, Tim.
And I didn't mean it as in like you can't figure it out. It was just my dad knows how to fix everything, so I needed to call my dad. And
to this day, we still call him about a lot of things that we want advice or how to fix it.
We got a new to us. It's not brand new car, but new to us car.
Yep.
And an hour past the dealership where we got it.
Hour down the road, maybe not even an hour.
It started doing something wonky.
Something funny.
And I immediately am like, okay, I gotta call my dad.
Gotta call Dad.
I think you called your dad. You were on the phone.
I think we both called Dad, and we wanted to know what they thought.
Yeah.
And then
I wasn't in the car with him.
I'm obviously going to Google it
following
still too.
him in the rental car. But anyway, they just know how to fix it.
Yeah.
And so you are
I think even before we bought the car, I called my dad to ask about like buying a used car, and our other car was a total loss, and I'm like, I've never been through that process, so I did Google it first, and like, hey, what am I supposed to do next? What happens? What does this mean? Do I need to do this? And then I was like, wait, my dad's done this before. Let's call him real quick and see what he remembers from his process. So,
well, leading into number 2, y'all are also like metaphorically the fixers at our house. So I don't have like a number 2 title or whatever, but I asked my son, I said, what does Dad do that makes home good? And he said he makes it safe. And he said, when I have bad dreams, when I can come in your room and hop in your bed and be next to Dad, I don't have bad dreams anymore. I thought it was really sweet.
It is really sweet.
Like, dads, you are the scare away any monsters under the bed. You are the ones that can heal broken hearts that nobody else can heal. I tell him all the time when he has to. Fortunately, we're so blessed. He gets to work from home.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Or sorry. But when he has to travel for work, which isn't all the time, I promise you, the crap hits the fan when he leaves.
Yeah.
And I tell him that, and I'm like, everything goes to pot when you are out of town. And like sometimes that's true.
I think sometimes I believe it, and then other times I'm like, it's the exact same as when I'm there. No. I'm just not there. And so it seems magnified to you guys.
And it is true. Like, you're like the balance to the force. Like, you are the calm presence in this house. And like sometimes things really do go wrong. Like one time we went out of town and our debit card number had been stolen, and I'm in the middle of the grocery store with all these groceries, and the bank doesn't call me, it calls him, and he's driving down the road, has no idea that the bank's trying to get a hold of him. Like that never happens when he's here. It's always like when he's not here. But like my imagination gets the better of me when he's not home.
There's the infamous balloon story.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay, so the first time he went out of town, we were pretty new in our house, and it was right after Valentine's Day. And he always gets the children balloons for Valentine's Day. And Retson got a Spider-Man balloon. And most of them had already like deflated at this point. They were like, they had drifted off to the downstairs. Well, the Spider-Man balloon was still hanging on. And when he goes out of town, all the kids, they camp out with Mom in my room. And because I'm a weirdo, I can't like close the door all the way because I need to be able to hear what's in the house. But I can't sleep with the door open because I'm too scared. And so it's like half open, half closed.
Yep.
And I hear this shh, shh, shh noise. And I'm like, okay, it's just the house. It's just your imagination. You're scared because Jacob's not home. It's not really anything. Well, I keep hearing it, and it gets a little bit louder. It's not loud, but it like gets a little louder, and it's shh, shh. And then out of that little bit crack in the door, I see this slow drift. And at this point, I am totally freaking out. Mama Bear is about to totally take out whatever is on the other side of that door. And I'm trying to talk myself into like the next logical step, which there isn't one. And I'm like, okay, this is it. And I hear it and I see the movement like it right next to the door. I bolt over the bed, bust open this door. Whatever is behind it is going to die of fright. It is this blasted Spider-Man balloon.
Just a balloon.
But in my mind, Jacob's not home. Of course the burglar is going to come to the house when Jacob's not home. Because every burglar knows our exact schedule when to come home when Jacob's not there.
The good ones do, at least.
Anyway. No, it's just Spidey Man. So anyway, that goes without saying there are no, this goes without saying there's no balloons left sauntering around our house when Jacob's out of town. But anyway, I'm just not as scared when he's home. And I was that way, still that way, when we go visit my parents or your parents. If my dad's not like in his chair, chillaxed, if your dad's not comfortable and he's ready to go to bed, like something is stirred, like something's not right. And when they're calm, everyone else is too. So you guys hold a lot of power in your house.
So, I feel like this, I don't know, for moms, I feel like you guys are definitely thermostats for the house. And you do control the temperature. And I'm sure there's a metaphor in here about how husbands and wives often fight over where to set that thermostat, but
yeah, depends on what time
going
of day.
too high, let's bring it back down.
All right, well let's move on to the next one. So this is kind of there's a balance that must exist in the home between the mom and dad, and this is like logic and reasoning versus or balanced with, not really against, but balanced with emotion. Women, we are emotional creatures by nature, and it's our default reasoning skills to think with emotion. And we can certainly logically reason through things and see things black and white, but that is not our first instinct. And for me, it takes me a minute or two to get to just logic, black and white decision making. Men, on the other hand, that seems to be more your first channel of thought. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I would agree with that. For me, at least. For most men, I would say we don't think about the emotional. We think about the logic of it. And there's all variations on the spectrum of how people reason through things, but so. Some men are emotional. Yeah. But definitely, I would say we lean heavier towards that reasoning side.
And I think to really have a well-rounded home and to make those big decisions, especially financial decisions in your home, life-changing decisions. We've moved a decent amount with your job. We're in an adoption, and like
there's a lot of logic and emotion that goes into life decisions.
Yeah.
And so if you lean too heavily one way or the other, you're bound to make a wrong decision, or a setback decision potentially. I could think of tons of different decisions that we probably made throughout the years, especially around the daughters, that if I didn't have that emotional insight from my wife, it would have been really hurtful, the things I would have said or decided, just because I was just like, logically, this is what makes sense. Like, this is obviously what we got to do with it, and vice versa. So,
yeah, I think like dealing with some of the behavior of our son, and like it's very easy to receive some of his behavior mechanisms as like this personal thing, and it's not. Like, he's just being a boy.
mm-hmm.
And but to me, I'm like, I don't get that. Like, everything is so emotionally intertwined, and usually my behavior has a reason, and boys are just different. They're not.
It's an interesting exactly dynamic like too, thinking about him, because I'm very wired as a logical, analytical thinker. You're not. You're emotion first thinker.
I mean, I'm an over-analyzer, but it's entirely emotionally based.
Fair enough. And he's picked up so much of each of our characteristics, and he's still developing as a person and maturing, and seeing him battle internally with logic and reason as well as emotion. And he'll eventually find where he lands on that spectrum of which one takes the lead role, in his reasoning. But
I think a family needs both, and if you are a single parent, that doesn't mean that you can't offer both sides of reasoning for your family. We're just talking about the strengths that come from a dad being heavily involved in the home and the building of the heart of the home, but also like the finances. That's not necessarily the heart. Like, you can't. To really spend your money well, if you only make emotional decisions, you're going to blow through your money really darn fast.
Well, that was the opposite example of what I thought about whenever it was like, hey, if I just made analytical, reasoning, logical decisions where the children didn't take emotion into it, I could make bad decisions. But also on the flip side, if I only looked at our budget as like this analytical, logical, black and white, we'd never spend any money ever. And we live a very boring life, and we need a little bit of emotion of like, hey, we need to do this. This is going to be helpful for the family. This is going to help, the attitudes or the overall happiness factor that the kids have.
Yeah.
So there's a balance. I think that's what we're going after. And you said it a second ago, like, just because you might be a single parent doesn't mean you can't do both. You're gonna naturally lean one way or another unless you've worked over it to become balanced in your thinking. But don't be afraid to ask other people's opinions, and you don't have to use it. It's just something to check against either. Yeah. So
we are very important for the. I'm losing the word I'm trying to say here. To help our children learn how to problem solve and to think critically. It's really important to tap into, I think, both sides of reasoning, emotion, and logic. One story I'm going to share, because I'm trying to share a story about him, my dad, and he's going to share one about his dad. But one of the times that my dad, like, blew my socks off at his reasoning. My dad is always, he strives to be the best at what he does. And generally, if he doesn't feel like he can give his best, he's not going to like insert himself in that task if he doesn't feel like he can give it his all. And when he does, I mean, he's all in. And so in school, that's how we were raised. Like, you do your best. And I was an all-A student in high school. And in college, I was trying my hardest to maintain at least all A's and B's. And we got married during my second year of college. And the night of my rehearsal dinner, I had a business finance final I was supposed to take. And I was so stressed out at the rehearsal dinner. His brother thought that I was getting cold feet, and he was like trying to tell me it's gonna be fine and making sure
He had my back.
Yeah, like he was like, wait a minute, lady, and he was trying to tell me like, we love you and it's gonna be okay. You've prayed through this. I was getting real testy with my wedding coordinator. Like I was just this mess.
I think we paused in the middle too.
Yeah, because I'm having like a mental breakdown. And my dad, he pulled me over to the side and he said, what is going on? And I told him, I said, I'm so stressed out. This rehearsal is taking forever and I just want to enjoy it. But all I can think about is I have to take my final tonight or I'm going to fail my class. And that is truly what it was. I was so conflicted because I wanted to be all in and enjoy. I'm about to get married, but the other part of me wanted to do so good in school and pass this class. And he said, would you just fail the class and get married? And my dad saying that was like,
What?
It was like this huge elephant that had been sitting on me just totally vanished into thin air. And it was, my dad's done that a lot, but like that was like the biggest thing to me. Like logically, you've paid a lot of money for this class and you should take the final. It's tonight. Like you did all the work. Why are you going to not do well on the last test? Like logically that makes sense.
And logically it's like, you know when your semester is. Why did you plan
your wedding? Yeah.
Around a final? Like,
but emotionally, there was a lot of reasons why we decided to get married then.
Yeah.
And my dad saw it and he knew that getting married was way more important than passing this class. And he was like, just get married. And,
marriage is forever.
Yeah.
That class probably expires. Like you probably gotta take a refresher eventually.
And in fact, that teacher was like, "You should get your priorities straight." And I'm like, "They are. I'm getting married. Peace out."
What a loser. He's probably single.
I have no idea. I don't even remember his name. But anyway, both emotion and logic are needed in making decisions. So thanks, Dad. Thanks for telling me to forget about that and get married.
Thanks, Tom. Good call.
All right. And then last one, and if our children could be in here to talk about this with us, like they would tell you all the fun things that Dad does. But quality time is gold. And dads, you bring the heat for quality time. So we already mentioned it. Jacob is to work from home, and I love it. I love it so much. And although he is with us all day long, the kids are like chomping at the bit for when they notice that his headset isn't red because he's not on a phone call. Me too, actually. And when
I didn't even know it turned red.
It totally turns red when he's on a call, and I'll open the door and I'm like, darn it, he's on a phone call. But like at the end of the day, they're like, "Is Dad done? Is Dad done?"
Yay!
And it doesn't matter if we're not gonna do anything exciting or out of the norm. Like they don't care. When Dad is off work, the fun happens and everything is so much better. They just love spending time with you. If Maris, our youngest daughter, if she can take a ride in your truck, even to the gas station, it doesn't matter. It's with Dad and it's in his truck. And
but if we tell her we're going somewhere to go ride, I don't want to ride, but if it's in the truck, like she's all about the truck.
And if Dad's going, there's usually way less like, I don't want to get in the truck. I don't want to go somewhere.
I want to go. Yeah.
Like the kids, they've gotten their chops busted for this before. But when Dad tells them like we're going to clean up the house, seriously, they had the audacity to say, "Oh, this is so much fun when Dad gives us chores." It's like that was the wrong thing to say, Sunshine.
I just gave him that look like cut it.
But it's true. Put
the shovel down.
It's just so much fun when Dad gets to spend time with you, even if what you're doing wouldn't actually go in the category of fun. When Dad is there, the kids just love it.
I had him having fun the other day folding laundry. Just
Yeah.
turned into a competition. Let's go. There's no way they can beat me because I am the laundry ninja.
He really is.
It did take all four of them to beat me, and I would have lost that competition. But you got to hide something so that they find it later, and they're like, "Oh, by default, I win." So
Cheater.
that's what I
Well,
want.
so I asked him before the podcast, like, tell me something that makes your dad a great dad. And his first thing was, he just spent time with me. So what are some things that your dad did spending time with you that you really are grateful for?
So I was thinking back, and I was trying to think of a very specific example, and it's come to me, a very specific example. So a couple things about my dad. He's a hard worker. I remember many times, like most of my childhood, he would leave before we would get up, and he would drive all over the state. He had a couple different jobs throughout the years, but most all of his jobs that he's ever had required him to travel hours upon hours upon hours of driving to different places, do the service job there when he got, drive to the next site, do the service, and then he'd be home 7, 8 o'clock at night a lot of times. So just sun up, sun down, hard worker, hardly ever took time off. One reason or another. We took a few vacations throughout the years, but just a really hard worker. And then another thing I remember about my dad is he doesn't like flying. He's not a fan of being on an airplane at all. And when I graduated high school, I was going to college in California was where I was going to go. And that summer, it was in August, right before the semester started, my dad took time off of work it was my freshman year. I really wanted to have a vehicle in California, which was hard because we lived over in Georgia. And he took time off that summer, and we took a road trip across the southern U.S. from Georgia. We left on a Sunday after church and took a couple days driving across country over to California. Stopped, did some really cool things along the way, got me there, got me registered and ready for classes, and then left me there with the car, got on a plane and flew back home. So a lot of good memories from that trip, and just thinking about the different sacrifices that my dad made, taking time off work, and then definitely flying on a plane by himself. I feel bad for whoever he sat next to on the flight back. He either talked their ears off from his nervousness, or I don't know what else he would have done.
Your dad talks to anybody,
He'll talk to a stranger,
nervous or not. It
I
doesn't
love
matter.
I love that. So thank you, Dad.
I love Papa John. Well, we are getting kind of lengthy on this episode, but I just wanted to say Happy Father's Day to all of you dads. It doesn't matter if you think you've measured up to these things or not. That's not what this was for. Man, ballet dads, soccer dads, baseball dads, if you're in the ministry, you're an emergency worker, you're in the armed forces, you just make the phone calls, send the text, the birthday wishes, the goodnight kisses, all of it. Just showing up, it means more than you think. And if you, ladies, if you have a husband in your life that is active in your children's life, then do not let him be the unsung hero. Tell him how grateful you are for him, because I'm telling you, you are my better half. It's really, really true. And Daddy and Papa John, I love you so much. Happy Father's Day. And last but not least, but it's also not of most importance, but it does help out our family if you support us through any of these affiliate links at the end. I asked Jacob to share some things that he likes that this one is like totally a dad purchase from Amazon. So an Amazon purchase that he liked, and he came up with
rechargeable batteries. Okay. One thing that I am the keeper of in this house is batteries. They are definitely kept in my desk drawer.
Yep.
Anytime the children need any kind of battery for anything, they come raid my desk and get batteries. Now, they don't do a good job of returning the rechargeable ones when they need to be recharged. So I have to go on a scavenger hunt and find wherever they drop them. But invested in these, I think this one 13 years ago when we got married, I think I bought this one.
Still going strong.
5 or 6 years ago, bought this one. They're both still working strong, and they do work. I bought the Amazon brand rechargeable batteries since then, and they work on different brands of rechargeable batteries. So If you've ever had to buy batteries, they're super expensive, even for like the super cheap ones. So anytime you can use something over and over and over again, it's really nice. So that's one thing I like, rechargeable batteries. And these work for AAA and AA.
I will link that for you below, the rechargeable thing and the batteries. And then, why don't you share about these? I shared about these last episode.
I've been. I meant to say this earlier. I've listened to every episode so far. Long time listener.
So many episodes.
Been waiting for my opportunity to be on this podcast. So glad I could finally be a part of it. But Groons. So I was really nervous when my wife bought these. It was another one of those things that she'd seen, she clicked on, she bought, and I was like, oh boy, another health thing to try out. It's going to be rough. Now, it's the opposite of rough. My kids, they tasted it and they were like, this is gross. I ate it, and it's no, what's the brand of gummy bears that I like?
I don't know, some
Albertsons or something.
Something with an A. Anyway.
Oh, it's killing me that I can't remember what they are. But anyways, it's not those gummy bears, but these are absolutely delicious to me. I think they taste really good, and they get you moving pretty quick. They keep you regular. This specific, and what dad doesn't like to be regular? You know what I'm talking about. So this one has superfoods, greens, and they're gummies. They do taste pretty sweet. I don't know how much sugar's in them. Is there any sugar in these?
I don't know. Probably not. Like if it's
8 grams.
It's
so 1 gram per gummy because it's a pack of 8. Don't eat more than 1 pack a day.
Okay. Well, let's represent this well. That sugar that is in it, we're not talking about cane sugar or white sugar. We're talking about naturally occurring sugars from the cranberries, the raspberries, the carrots, the blueberries. There is like you can get on their website and read it. There is no added sugars.
You can tell I really rehearsed for this to represent them well. It tastes good, and it's the first health food that I've honestly enjoyed. So, and then the last one. Can I go to the last one?
Sure, go for it.
Okay.
One more to share.
I am the reason that Chelsea knows about this, by the way. The Awala bottle. I got this as a gift from work, I believe.
Yeah.
And it has been one of my favorite water bottles. I never got on the Stanley train. Sorry, Stanley. I don't know what made Stanley come back as a water bottle.
Social media?
Probably. I don't know. But everybody had to go spend $40, and I wasn't about to spend $40, $50, $60, whatever they were, for the Stanleys. One thing that I hate about water bottles is if they have a plastic straw sticking out of them. I don't know. It's just a mental thing in my head of like, it's going to jab me in the back of the throat if I trip while drinking or whatever. I don't know. I just
hit a bump driving down the road.
Hit a bump driving. Yeah, I don't like it. I bought some soft straws, but they're not as nice. Now this one, it's got a locking lid. You can even lock it down right there. You can pop it up, and it's a nice little carry handle. It's got a little button on the front. Pops up. You can either tip to pour, but this little opening right here, there's actually an internal straw. And so I can just drink like I'm drinking from a straw because I am, but there's no risk of it hurting me. Absolutely love this thing. Dropped it countless times. Still kicking. Got some dents, some scratches. I think, Chelsea, you finally broke your lid the other day and had to order a new lid. It was $8 or $9 for a new lid. So this has increased my water intake astronomically from where I used to be. So, love my Awala bottle. Yeah. 3 links.
Well, thanks, babe, for being with us today. None of those things are sponsors for this podcast, but they're truly products that we love, and we are going to share links. And Groons, it does have a discount for you when you click the link.
They can put comments on these, right?
Yes, you can.
You should comment one of your favorite memories of your dad.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You should do it.
I want to read some of these.
Well, you guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Father's Day. Thanks for being with me today, babe.
You're welcome. Happy Father's Day, everybody.